Day I fucked up by sticking my D in crazy. Long story short, I hooked up with this girl I met online. Showed her how to make a couple drinks for an upcoming party of hers. Watched a movie and she asked me for a calf massage. Then we went to the bedroom so she could give me a back massage. Took off my shirt so she could use lotion. One thing led to another. I am 24 and she is 40-something. After we had sex, she wanted to spend the night and I said I wasn't comfortable with that. She was not happy about that. I suggested we snuggle for a bit and then I take her home. She wanted me to take her home right then. Completely silent on the whole car ride. I said sorry, I just don't sleep super well with someone in my bed because of stuff in my past. And she said I don't fucking care, you're never gonna talk to me again. As we were pulling up to her place, she said you know what I'm going to do tonight? Go to the emergency room and I said why? And she said you can think about why, have fun in jail, and got out. Now even though I'm 100% confident in what happened in my actions, I'm still paranoid at what she could do. My husband died and I'm grateful for it. Me, 28, and my husband, 30, had a great relationship up until the moment we got married. He started to get emotionally and verbally abusive. It got to the point where in the middle of a fight or a meltdown he would take my phone from me to stop me from calling my therapist, she is 24/7 due to my depression, and lock himself in the room and only returning my phone the other day. I got pregnant when the red flags were still ignorable. After I gave birth my postpartum depression hit hard. I didn't want to leave the house and was 24/7 with my baby. I thought of leaving him but was afraid he took my baby and I wouldn't be there to protect him. One day we had another argument and for the first time he said to me just fucking die already and left. I remember wishing him dead back in my mind with all my heart. About a month later COVID came. He got sick and actually died. My life gave a huge turn. I'm being social again, got in contact with my family, get along very well with his family, have a happy and healthy toddler. I do miss him sometimes and feel bad for my kid for not knowing his dad past 2 months, but a huge part of me feels relieved that I know my child is safe and it didn't take an ugly divorce for it and I don't have to share him and wonder what happens to him if I'm not there. I sometimes feel guilty for being grateful for how things turned out.
Idea hole for deleting my friend's wedding photos in front of them. A friend got married a few days ago and wanting to ceremony, asked if I'd shoot it for them. I told him it's not really my forte. But he convinced me by saying he didn't care if they were perfect. They were on a shoestring budget and I agreed to shoot it for $250, which is nothing for a 10-hour event. On the day of, I'm driving around following the bride. Ash goes from appointment to appointment before the ceremony, taking photos along the way. I shoot the ceremony itself, and during I'm shooting speeches and people mingling. I started around 11 a.m. and was due to finish around 7:30 p.m. Around 5 p.m. food is being served, and I was told he cannot stop to eat because I need to be photographer. In fact, they didn't save me a spot at any table. I'm getting tired, and at this point kinda regretting doing this for next to nothing. It's also unbelievably hot. The venue is an old Veterans Legion, and it's like 110F, and there's no AC. I told the groom I need to take off for 20 minutes to get something to eat and drink. There's no open bar or anything. I can't even get water, and my 2 water bottles are long empty. He tells me I need to either be photographer or leave without pay. With the heat, being hungry, being generally annoyed at the circumstances. Asked if he was sure, and he said yes. So I deleted all the photos I took in front of him, and took off saying I'm not this photographer anymore. If I was to be paid to 50, honestly, at that point I would have paid $250 just for a glass of cold water, and somewhere to sit for 5 minutes. Slept with my girlfriend's mom 2 years ago. I can't tell her because I know she'll dump me and it'll probably end her parents' marriage. 2 years ago when I was 19, met this woman while I was working as a personal trainer. She was in her 40s and looked like a 25-year-old. She took an interest in me and invited me out a number of times. And we had sex a few times. After one of our meetups, she said it was wrong for someone of her age to be with me because I was toying and changed gyms. My girlfriend and I have been together for just under 1 year. She's amazing, and I love her so much. 2 months ago I met her family for the first time, and it was a shock. Like she took me to the house, where I had hooked up with a woman, and I felt like I was being pranked. Before I see her mom it hits me. I have a type, and they both fit that type, so it makes sense. I've been hooking up with a single mom, and I'm now with her daughter. Then her mom and dad pop out, and we both almost shit ourselves. I meet her parents, they've been married for 20 years. I realize I had been a married woman's toy. I feel incredibly ashamed. Later that week, her mom finds my number and tells Method I can never speak of what happened. She says that me girlfriend will hate me forever because Lel be the one who broke up her parents. So now, I'm stuck keeping this secret. She invited me to spend Thanksgiving and with her family in, since my family is 1,000 miles away, and I already told her, don't plan on going home. I don't really have an excuse to not go. So now I'm going to have to sit there at a table and enjoy Thanksgiving dinner with the woman I had an affair with, her husband, and her daughter whom I am now in love with. They got a type too. Sounds like fun. Past the
Friend and I gave up our child today. He was born happy and healthy. Most beautiful baby I've ever seen in my life. Happiest day of our life is sadly also the hardest one. We wanted him so bad. Right now where we're in our lives though, barely surviving paycheck to paycheck, food stamps, and living in a bad neighborhood in one of the most expensive overpriced cities in the US, we know we can't do it with a baby. I'm sad we can't provide the life he deserves. We know the family he's going to is gonna love him so much. They have been waiting for years to have a child. They're good people, we know they are. And we know he's gonna have a good life with them. My girlfriend cried for an hour when it was time to say goodbye. She's sleeping on me right now. My heart hurts. Hurts deeper than anything I've ever felt. I only got to hold him a few minutes but it already feels like I can't breathe without him. This is for the best though. We both know it is. Hope one day we can meet again, baby boy.
Was your partner's weird kink you weren't ready for? It wasn't a partner, but a Tinder meet-up. She asked if she could tie me up and whip me a little while holding this little nine-tails whip thing. I agreed normally down to try anything once. It was pretty awesome at first, giving someone else complete control, and the pain was manageable. Then she proceeded to put down the little whip and grab this Indiana Jones style bull whip and thrash my back with it. It broke the skin and I got blood all over her bed. She got me with it twice before I pleaded for mercy, and she untied me and apologized. But I wasn't ready for something like that. Got dressed and left shortly after. I still have the 2 scars on me back years later and haven't been on Tinder since. Dressing me up like them and acting out a scenario off being a clone. I had one girlfriend that wanted to lick my eyeball, and another lick my armpit. I didn't care for either act. Bloodline. She did my brother and cousin. My ex-husband was turned on by the idea of me with another guy. It led to a divorce, calling me by her ex-boyfriend's name.
A friend and I egged another friend's house in high school. Other friend's mom fell off their roof cleaning it and was wheelchair bound for years. I've been friends with, let's call him, M since the 4th grade. We were tight and did the whole best friends, sleep over, hang out all day type thing all through elementary and middle school. Freshman year we drift apart and I kind of hated him for it. I became close friends with 2 other guys that year, let's call them, A and R. R was 1 year older and trying to date/get M's older sister who was 1 grade older than me and M. M and R hated each other. Halloween night A and R come to my house with a big bucket of eggs wearing costumes. We egg and TP a couple houses. Then we get to M's house. R unloads the rest of the eggs on M's house. I just stand there with A watching and laughing. Next day M gets called into the office and is out of school for the rest of the week. M comes in Monday all somber and emotionless and tells us his mom broke her back, neck and wrist trying to clean eggs off of their house the day after Halloween. He literally tells me later that day that he will get vengeance to the person who did this. A, R and I vow to never tell another soul about this. M and I eventually reconnect somewhere down the line and have been friends to this day at 29 years of age. His mother has fully recovered but she still complains of neck and wrist pain to this day. Still friends with A and R but they still don't talk to M or bring up the incident. Me and M both have GFS that get along and we've grown really close from that, and the more I feel connected to him the more I think about telling him.